Hello everybody. Welcome to another rapid speedrun game as we cross the 1600 threshold on our journey to 1800 before we switch things up with some new interesting opening ideas. We've seen this before. They jump the knight in the center. We simply take the knight, removing their most active piece, and now they have a pawn on our side of the board and it looks like they haven't moved. Let's challenge this pawn immediately. If he takes, it helps us develop. He throws in the intermezzo, which attacks our bishop. Let's retreat our bishop one square. And he closes and clamps down on our position, saying, hey, that was a mistake taking it off this diagonal. However, he cannot protect this with any of his pieces in one move. So we have the queen f3, and how does he save the pawn? He doesn't. A 1630. Okay, he hits our bishop. If we go here, he wants to go here so that if we take, he can try to win a piece. Clever. So it's smart, but what if we go back home? Now when he goes here, we still get the pawn. Aha. So he doesn't even bother doing this because it would be a waste of a turn. But now we take the material, and it's not like he has some huge lead in development for it. No, nothing. We're just going to move our queen, play d4, castle, and be much better. So he's moving pawns on that side of the board. We don't care. It's neither here nor there. So let's move our queen out of the way while protecting the center, getting ready for d4. Okay, he prepares, I guess, a counter to it, but we can still play it, of course. We can even start with this extremely disruptive e5. He knows it's disruptive, so he tries to counter it with this nice pin move, but we can just ignore it and castle. He could actually take the pawn because the rook is not defended, but it's scary. He has tons of weaknesses. These pawns are targets. His position's pretty bad. So he moves the knight in the center. This gives us easy f4, bishop f3 options. We can just go bishop f3 first. Let's start with bishop f3. Get our pieces into the game finally. He protects it, and now we just break in the center. Create a strong pawn chain if he takes, and it's even stronger if he doesn't. We're up our material. He can't get his dark square bishop out. He can't castle. His position's terrible. And so, although you can say that when he kicks our bishop in the beginning of the game, maybe this diagonal is the best diagonal to retreat. But you can say that by going to the other diagonal, we baited him into pushing the pawn. So he'll probably throw a rook on the file because it makes sense. And we can simply move our queen with threats. For example, this creates double attack. I like it. And it's hard to defend the knight unless you go queen up. Otherwise, your bishop's hanging behind it, so I'm not sure how you respond. I guess if you do go queen up, you hang other stuff, so I'm not sure how that works. And none of this would be hanging if you didn't make so many pawn moves for no reason in the opening. Okay, he hits our queen, but we can just still target the knight. That doesn't do anything. It also targets the bishop now. So now it's a triple attack with a pin. So it's a much stronger queen. Queens are extremely strong offensive pieces, extremely good attackers. Their stability is low though, because they can be kicked by anything. But since their offensive power is so high, you have to take advantage of it. Like if you had a card for attack and defense, it would be like, 20 attack and 20 out of 20 attack and like 1 defense because it can be kicked by anything, but not actually 1. It's more like 10 defense because it can move easily, it can evade, it can sacrifice itself. Okay, so he goes here trying to defend all the threats in one, but at the end of the day, the problem is the knight. So if I go here, he's going to go here. So I just need to keep the pressure on the knight. I'm up 2 pawns. I'm completely winning, so I could do whatever I want, technically. But you know what? I'm going to maybe... Hmm. Here, here. Then he moves his queen, actually. Let's go here. He can, again, move the bishop and hit my queen, but he can only move it in a way that would hang the other pawn again. So it's like we're repeating, but I'm picking up a bunch of pawns in the process, which is good for me. So otherwise, he has to protect the knight finally. Or he can move it and hit the queen and protect the pawn, nullifying everything I say. Okay, this makes sense. But in this case, we're just winning, so this is really good for us. Let's bring the queen back, so if he takes our bishop, we can have a really strong queen. We're up 2 pawns. We have win conditions in the center and on the queen side. And once we get this knight out, I mean, that's just going to be super devastating. Yeah, so he puts his knight back, but I'm not going to repeat and put my queen back. I'm going to develop a new piece, challenging everything. And he doesn't even take. He tries to go active, but there's no activity to be had. It's not a good move. I'll kick it. This is a useful inclusion for us, taking away these dark squares from his pieces, preventing his pawn from pushing. He hits our queen. He wants to go here, but since we're up so much material, we'll take with the pawn and even create a bigger, stronger center. We'll move our king, we'll go rook g1 and mate him. Now he can't infiltrate, he has no counterplay, and he's going to target our central pawn with the knight. We need to develop our bishop, we might as well centralize and defend. It does block our queen, which is annoying, but we're going to push this pawn anyway, which will open the queen. He tries to get his queen here, but how many other pieces are here? So that's not going to work, right? Okay, so what do? We want to get our queen to take his queen. Yes, there's free material over here. Yes, you could play in the center. You could do 1,000 different things. Every move is winning. But also notice this, which I didn't mention yet. It's coordinating here, but again, the move I've been wanting to make this whole time stops everything. This bishop supports everything, and the queen's coming, and there's nothing you can do about it. Your queen can get a little closer, but you're not, it's only a queen. Plus my knight at any moment can come. So maybe he tries to develop another piece. But one thing this pawn move did is it supports the center. So now I can continue kicking pieces, and he doesn't have good forward squares. He'll have to go to the side. And then if I kick the bishop, he has to go to the back rank. So I'm just increasing my restriction, gaining more space, taking away squares. Oh, he moves the knight backwards, which has no ideas. I guess when I push this, he wants to try to remaneuver his knight to the other side, but I'm also not obligated to do that. You have attacking moves like this, hitting the rook, very discoordinated army, stuff like that. But since you're completely crushing him in every way manageable, we're just going to move our queen a little bit over, one over. We're covering all the light squares. We're going to move our king over. It's great for us. He goes here trying to break down our stronghold, but we don't have to take. We can simply ignore him. I'm going to threaten the pawn and the queen trade. That was the idea of our queen move. Again, if you're an engine, you can definitely make the strongest moves by keeping the queen. But if you're a human, you already know you're gonna win. So why? So he lets us queen trade. So we do it. If you take this pawn, it kind of ruins the pawn duo. So you have to be careful with stuff like that. And now trades are just easy wins for us. So all we have to do is put a rook on the c file. There is this pawn. But I don't want to take. I mean, I do want to take it, but like not now. I want to put a rook here. I'd rather take this pawn. I mean, it is just a pawn. It's just hanging right there though. But I don't want to take it. I'm going to bring a rook in. I'm going to develop a piece. Call me crazy. His rooks aren't connected, so. Okay, now he develops the knight, or moves the knight for a 10th time. Maybe he's focusing on this square, but now I want to move my knight. And he'll probably, this isn't really ever going to work. He's going to either take, he'll just take, yeah. So let me take this one right now and stop his knight from coming to c5. And he takes. Okay, we take, maintaining our 3-pawn advantage. 3 connected passed pawns, which is extremely winning. And a huge evaluation by the engine. I wonder, so let's see, we're moved 31. I wonder what it's going to say. So he's attacking a central pawn. He wants to break this down. We can defend it with f4, or we can deflect his rook. Both of them are viable. Let's trade rooks because the less material, the better our passed pawns. And because of our bishop, and because we can contest immediately, that's why I chose to trade rooks. If our bishop wasn't protecting this square and we couldn't contest right away, I would not have done this. So he goes back threatening the pawn. But now we're the only ones with the open file. We can protect with f4 or look for a stronger move. Attack the knight. Let's attack the knight. He retreats the knight. It is defended by the bishop, so this doesn't work. He can take this. Okay, so let's go back to our f4 move. We have a little time. Maybe I can find a better move. Whatever, f4 is good enough. I don't want to waste too much time with 2 minutes. His knight is trapped. He makes some backspace room so we can get our knight in the game. We can push our pawns. His bishop is trapped if we go for a trade. So we could force trades, or we could just maintain. Let's bring the knight in. Notice how I'm not pushing and giving his knight squares. I'm just leaving it terrible. You could get your king to the center. You could just push the pawns. You could trade the bishop like this. You have infinite options really here. This is the whole point of center. The whole point of having an ideal pawn center is to one day push it just like this, have him not be able to do anything about it, and you can see how overwhelming it is. Okay, so he tries to undermine, but we'll just leave it. The downside of his move is it undefends this square, which we can use with our knight. Now when he takes and we take, he wanted to go bishop g5 so he can attack our pawn, but the knight covers it. So also now we do have this rook move, pinning the knight, and now we don't because it's redefended. He also redefends this square. That might have been the purpose of his move. But now his bishop is getting closer and closer to actually being trapped. Let's reroute this bishop out of the line of sight of the rook. Just support this whole complex, this whole pawn chain. If he trades, we improve our king. If he doesn't trade, I mean, what's he gonna do? Okay, so he does this, trying to be cheeky, but I don't think it works for him because he wants us to go here and then ruin our whole beautiful pawn chain, but we're just going to take the bishop. Thanks a lot. And he takes this knight, but this pawn is defended, and we have the double attack pin. So you lose material as well as you're obviously lost. So let's pin the rook, making sure it cannot move, because then it's easy to win the game. I mean, we'll just take the free rook with check, and he can't even promote, and black resigns. Now you can see just how strong these pawns are. You can see how you don't need to move them. I just left them there, but it restricted his pieces so much, and it gave me ease of play. And this was a great game by white, great demonstration of a Ruy Lopez sideline. I don't know if this has a name, but whenever they invest time to get to your side of the board, especially with a knight which can't do it in one turn, they're investing their moves. So when you take that piece off the board, all their investment disappears. That's why it's usually better to just bring out your pieces fast, fast, fast. Let them get to your board. Let them take that pawn. Because they're spending all these moves, they'll eventually get traded, and it will look like they didn't make any moves in the position. So anyway, we take the piece that's on our side, and then we challenge the pawn that's on our side. He goes here, and now you could definitely go to right here, bishop d3, plug yourself in the hole, perfectly good move. Or you can go this way and bait your opponent into this move because it looks like you can do it. But it would only be a good move if you can maintain that pawn. Here, immediately gives white the advantage because you cannot maintain it. We attack it. He tries to be cheeky. So if not queen f3, is there a better? No, okay, that is the best move. Weird. So he hits our bishop, and we go to the square where we don't get fork. It's a forced move. And free stuff. And white's plus 1.5. So don't try this at home if you're black. He keeps pushing pawns, can never be the right thing. And now this is center. It's a move with a center-based idea. Push d4. And now we want to push e4, but if you can kick a knight for free, you should consider it. Yes, you can jump to the center, but it's not a very stable square. This diagonal's open, you can hit it. So we play it, plus 2.5. It says as of here, white's completely winning positionally, or tactically, let's see. We just castle. Now it's saying his best move is to take the pawn, but white's still plus 2.1, completely crushing. However, we can't bring the rook out, so you'd either have to settle for bishop f3, which looks great, or d4, which looks great. Because takes, 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 rook over, bishop here. His position's so loose. Let me show you. Oops, what am I doing? Yeah, here, if he takes, we take. And if he takes, his position's loose, and let's say check, he has to go here, bishop here, his rook's hanging. His queen's going to get hit. The knight's coming out. And although you may not be able to see, if you play enough games, you'll know that this always ends up in you winning, right? So anyway, he didn't take the pawn because he sensed bad things are coming. Now, curiously enough, is there a better move? There should be, right? Yeah, d4 immediately protecting, as well as the concept I said with f4. Both and castling, they're all three extremely strong moves. Defend the pawn or try to be even stronger and hang it, right? So we try to be stronger, and he doesn't take it. Plus 3.3. Develop or improve a piece for free. And now center, development, defense, force move for free, free stuff, force move, develop a piece for free. I hit the knight. I didn't even consider d5. I guess he can't take. And if he goes somewhere, d6. Yeah, okay, d5 was a cool move here. A nice opportunity. I don't think it's necessary, but it was a cool move. We just kick the knight instead, and he trades the bishops, avoiding that tempo. And also, he's trying to be cheeky. Now, you could take it, right? Like, it's not the end of the world. He goes here, he's hitting your rook and this pawn, so you're like, oh no. But you move your rook, he takes the pawn, and you're still completely crushing. So, like, if you look at his position, this rook and this bishop are never moving, and you don't have any such problems. You have an easy developing move with your bishop on any square, and your rooks are immediately connected. And it's like, you're up material. None of this can work. So even if you don't know the moves, you have to like conceptually try to look at it, and you're gonna get better at chess when you zoom out, try to big picture it. And they skip that a lot. Everyone's about the moves and the lines, but if you don't understand the big picture, none of that means anything. So we take with the pawn because pawn structure is irrelevant on our king side. Develop and defend. Improve center and development and defense. Improving our center for free and restriction. Improving a piece for free, trades an automatic win. Improving the queen for free, trades or wins. Developing a piece, free stuff, +5. Force move. Intermezzo, trades or wins for us. Improving a piece for free, +6. Improving a piece for free. And now finally, after all those intermezzos, defending a pawn, center, 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 center. Improving a piece towards the center. Improving a piece for free, +7. Trades or wins. Trades or wins. And he hangs material, so for free. Free stuff. Free stuff. +77.7. Jackpot. Can you see that? How do I show that? I've never seen that before. Hold on. Oh, it doesn't show on the template. Wait, wait, wait. I think I got it. Wait. There you go. If you look in this bottom right box, the blue one, +77.7. Got it. And you can see the graph. It was just essentially 94% perfect game. I think it's important to go through perfect games to build up a positive repetition pattern in your brain related to the openings, um, so that you know you're working with correct ideas verified by engine. So good luck in your chess. I'll see you in the next one.